Hi guys, how are you doing? I hope you're all doing well. I'm glad to be back. Today we are reviewing the Signature 5-in-1 food processor. It is a versatile food appliance that allows you to prepare a variety of foods including vegetables, fruits, nuts, and more. It has a blender, a juicer, a grinder, a chopper, and it's really great for making smoothies, beverages, especially juices, and processing foods. So there are some of the parts that come with it include a blending jar, a push stick, transparent covers, which I really like because then it allows you to see what's going in there and you can control how much the food, the thing you're blending, how much it's broken down. So that's an added advantage. It also has a filter bowler. It has a residue container, the container which picks on the fiber that comes out of whatever you're juicing. It has a chopper cup and it has a grinding jar, and I forgot to mention it also has a chopper cup. Yeah, I mentioned that. Sorry about that. Yeah. So today we're gonna make a smoothie. I'm also gonna show you how I grind nuts. I'm gonna also make a cabbage juice, and I'll give a very honest review of what I think about the food processor. The things I like about them and the things I'm not a fan of, but I'll let you know, and then you figure out like if it's something you can work with or if you can maybe buy one compartment. It depends with what you really want to do with the food processor anyway, or anything else. So I'm gonna show you the whole thing, how it works. Actually, towards the end of the video you'll see how different compartments work, and I hope it helps you, so stay tuned. So another thing I'd really like you to know is that there is a motor, and the motor is just one, and it has a knob, as you can see down there, and this knob is what you use to switch on the machine. So it has two levels of speed, and that you use the knob to either like speed up the process or slow it down. Yeah, so first thing, we are gonna start with juicing. This is the machine, and this is how you fix it onto the motor. And to be quite honest, this is my honest opinion, this is good. It's actually very good, but you will notice that anytime you juice, the juice that comes out is very little and you're left with a lot of fiber. So if you're not the kind of person to throw away the fiber like me, you might... Sorry, I went a bit quiet, but yeah, so I was saying you might consider to maybe blend. I prefer blending compared to juicing, but in this case, because I really wanted to show you guys, I'm gonna show you what happens. And another thing, before I forget, please, if you're juicing, try and juice very light things. For example, this machine, it's not easy to juice cabbages. It's a bit, the grinder thing has very small holes, so when you try to push in the cabbage, when you switch on the machine, it's a bit hectic. But when I juice something like celery juice, it's easy because then it's easier to grind it. The blade grinds it easier, but for cabbage it's a bit hard. So again, that's another thing for you to find value out of the juicer. You might only want to consider lighter things to blend. I know of other juicers that have stronger blades. So if you want to maybe juice things like apples, what else? Apples, and what else do people juice? There's carrots, things that are a bit hard. The Signature 5-in-1 food processor is just not it. I've tried it and it's not a very strong one. You please try to find out from the people who are selling, the distributors, which one is easier to grind, like stronger things like apples and stuff like that. So that's my honest opinion about this juicer. I'm not a big fan of it. I would rather blend my cabbage and then filter the juice out of it. But so that's my opinion about it. So the next thing I'm gonna grind here is the groundnut, and I love it. This is one of my best compartments. It grinds the groundnuts very easily and very fast, and it comes out like in powder form. So you're gonna see it just now, you see. So this to me is very good. It grinds very well, so I don't have a problem with this. If you're a person who makes smoothies and you include nuts, this is just perfect. So the grinder is perfect, and actually it just doesn't grind just groundnuts. You can use it to grind onions. If you saw the first part of the video, if you looked at it keenly, I showed you the different blades. These blades can be used to cut tomatoes, onion, red peppers. I use it to cut green peppers, red peppers, tomatoes, onions, and even to grind groundnuts. So it's multifaceted. I love it. It's actually very, 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 it comes in handy. What I don't like about it, again, is when you put hard stuff like carrots, you can't put like big ones. They don't chop very easily, and not in these compartments. I'm going to show you in a short while which compartment it is. So this one I like as well. Also grinds very easily and very fast. I've put onions in. Please bear in mind it has a capacity of around 50 grams to 100 grams. So if you put a lot of it, the juice comes out. If you want to grind it to come off like really fine, the juice might just spill out of the bottle, because it only has a capacity of 50 to 100 grams. If you have seen inside there, I had put garlic, and again, that's my problem with these grinders. Sometimes they just don't grind some of these things, especially if they're very hard. So they might just grind to a certain level. You see, like onions is very easy, but now garlic, you might just be left with a bit of some particles. So that, again, when you go to buy these things, please ask for advice, because these machines, I've noticed, can only handle some things to a certain level. So just try to find out. For me, I find this 5-in-1 food processor a bit tricky when you're trying to blend hard things. You'll see in the next compartment, which I don't like, the chopper. I really tried to chop like carrots, but it was really hard. And then I put in my green peppers, and it was so easy. It did it very fast. And so just bear that in mind. And again, don't forget, it only handles 50 grams to 100 grams. If you put excess, the juice comes out like you have seen here. And by the way, you can control how much you want the onions or whatever it is to be grinded, how much you want it to like how much you want it grinded. So sometimes you might come out, you can even grind it just a bit, and it comes off like chopped, but not to the extent where it comes off like sort of like in a fiber form, like the onions that you have seen now. Yeah, so this is the compartment that really, like, it's really not I don't like it so much. Yeah, so I'm not just a fan of this chopper because it's actually meant to chop like hard stuff like carrots. But for some reason, every time I try, it's very hard. Actually, nothing happens. It just makes noise, and I just hear noises, and when I look inside, nothing is happening. So I don't know if the problem is because of how I fixed the whole thing. Maybe there's something I missed. But honestly, I just feel like it just doesn't do the work. But you can also, again, put in other things like red peppers, green peppers, maybe grate the carrots or cut them into smaller pieces, or maybe use softer carrots. I don't know. Maybe that will work, because when I tried with the green peppers, it worked. So that again is my problem with this food 5-in-1 food processor. I just don't know why it cannot grind hard stuff. So be very keen on that when you're going to buy this machine. Please ask how the kind of foods it can blend, because some of these blades are not strong enough. Yeah, so that's my honest opinion about this. What I love most about this is the grinder. The other grinders that what I like most really is grinding things like groundnuts, onions, red peppers, tomatoes, but other things, no, it can be very frustrating. And then one thing before I forget, this is very, very important. And if I go to one of the manufacturers, if I meet any of them, or if I meet the sellers, I'll be very clear on this. They need to make this thing simple. It is so hard to like bring everything together. It's just so hard. It takes time before you figure out which part goes where. So I wish it was a bit more easy to figure these things out. It doesn't have to be so hard to try and fix them. My God, especially this chopper. This chopper was very hard for me. Putting it together was quite a task. I don't like that about this. This machine is supposed to make work easy. But anyway, yeah. So that is one challenge I've seen. And another thing about the blades, sometimes they just don't chop some hard stuff. Those two things are my main problems. But in terms of blending is actually my best. I make smoothies a lot. Actually, that's the one compartment I use a lot, and the grinder, because I like to make my smoothies with groundnuts. So those two I love. So if you have this machine, if you want to buy it, be sure you're gonna enjoy making smoothies and grinding stuff like onions, peppers, and groundnuts. And yeah, I think that's about it. I've shown everything that you need to know. This is just me making juice. I used the groundnuts that I grinded, and then I have another product that I really like that I also include in my juices. It's called Uno. It's just grounded. It's also grounded nuts. It's sold in most stores. So that's what I used, and then I put milk. This is what I'm talking about. And then I put milk, a bit of sugar, some avocado, and that's it. I had my smoothie was ready. So this is one thing that I love doing with this food processor. Yeah, so that's it for this video. I really hope I have given enough information, and I hope you've learned something on how to operate this machine. It's actually very good, only that it has just very small challenges that you can handle. Yeah, so that's it. Thank you so much. If you have watched to this point, thank you so much for watching, and keep tuned. I hope to be sharing videos quite often from now on. And then another thing, if you have not subscribed, please subscribe. It will help a lot. I'm only left with 10 people to reach the 1,000 mark, and I will be very glad if you get me to that point. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys. Enjoy the rest of the day. If you're whatever time you're watching, enjoy your time. Bye for now.